good morning. It feels like it's been quite a long time since I saw you all, but there's been quite a busy time, hasn't it? There's been Easter and there's been the holidays, and I dare say some of you have been away, others have been to visit your grandparents perhaps for the first time. We've had the family here in the garden and we've been to see them as well, so it's been exciting times. No hugs yet, but that's coming soon. Okay, so today, Discover Us Online, we are beginning with our new pattern. Up until now we had 2 Sundays a month, the 2nd and the 4th were always Discover Us Online. But now that we can have our Forest Church on the 1st Sunday of the month and we can meet face to face and be together, we've moved Discover Us Online to the 3rd Sunday of the month. So every other week, more or less, there will be something. So today it's Discover Us Online. It's the last Sunday before you go back to school, and I hope you've had the most wonderful holiday, relaxing and enjoying and getting ready for the summer term. For me, that was always the best time at school, both as a student and as a teacher. I always loved the summer with those long sunny evenings and the opportunity to do much more outside than we usually do. Okay, so we're going to start today with our sort of activity. Is an outside activity because really important to get outside, and it's a scavenger hunt. Now this scavenger hunt hasn't got a particular theme to it, but I thought that what you could do this afternoon before everybody gets back to work again is plan a scavenger hunt for your family. Now you might want to do one that is colour coordinated, or you might want to do one that is sensory, where they have to find different things that are sensory. So you might have something where, you know, perhaps if you've got something for sound, somebody will get a grass and be able to blow through the grass and make a noise. All those sorts of ideas. Have a good think about what you might do for your scavenger hunt. Well, I did mine as very basic, so 5 different shaped and different coloured leaves. Now it's all found stuff. I'll tell you the only stuff that you've been able to pick. So they're slightly different colour brown, but they're certainly very different shape. This one, which is a lovely, I think that's come off the bramble there, lovely greeny browny, and 3 different leaves on that stem. This one looks a bit like it's a dying one, but it's got some nice multicolours in it. What else have I got here? Oh, where has it gone? That horrible sticky stuff I got somewhere here. Yes, this stuff that sticks to everybody. That's all lots of different green leaves. Okay, that's my green leaves. 3 stones of different colours. Mine weren't very exciting. I should have had different sizes and different colours. So they're slightly different, those, and this is a very different one. Okay. The next thing I said I had to get was 5 different pieces of wood that have different colours. So I found one that was greenish, one that was sort of pale brown, one that's darker brown, one that is definitely green, and this one here, either the squirrels or the deer have been munching at the tree and taken that bit off. So it gave me nearly a very nice, almost white one. Okay. The next thing I had was different coloured flowers without picking any live ones. Well, that's quite hard. So what I changed it to was without picking any flowers from the garden, but just picking perhaps things from the grass. So I've got a dandelion, and I've got some camellia petals that have fallen off our camellia with all the frost that's been here, and for some reason the squirrels have scattered them across the garden, but it made it easy to find. A tiny little violet, this rather lovely purpley, and then from the compost heap, a lovely forget-me-not. So a variety of different coloured flowers, 3 3 different coloured grasses. Now that was quite hard. I'll be quite quick with this one. That's one of those very thick grasses. What else? Where did I find? Another one was just a regular grass, which our chickens love eating. And then I had some dead grass somewhere hidden in this box. And the last thing, there you go, tiny bit of dead grass. And the last thing I had was 2 feathers. And would you believe it? I could only find 1 feather wandering around the whole garden. I know where there's some others. They're over there with the chickens, but they were in the chicken house laying their eggs, so I didn't like to go in and bother them. Anyway, set up a scavenger hunt, have a prize at the end for the winning person perhaps, time it maybe, do something to make it a little bit more creative, a little bit more fun, but to get everybody out and busy hunting. It could be one that you do while you're on a walk. Brilliant. Okay, that's our activity, and I hope that will make you get out, get moving, get active, get observing. It's really important, isn't it? Now, at this particular time of year, different religious groups are observing different traditions. Now, you may have heard that at the moment it is Ramadan. Now, what is Ramadan? Ramadan is a very, very important festival for the Muslims. It's their most important festival. And they fast for a whole month. Now, in the Islamic calendar, this is the 9th month of the year. And they always have Ramadan in the 9th month of the year. And they fast from the moment the sun comes up in the morning till the sun goes down at night. So they have breakfast when the sun, just before the sun comes up. Then they eat nothing until the sun goes down in the evening, and then they have a meal. And in usual times, they would meet together with their family and their friends and have those meals together. But this is still COVID times, so they're not doing that. They're be allowed to be with 6 people outside if they want, or 2 households outside, or a lot of people are doing it through Zoom. So they're having their meals with another family, or 2 or 3 families on Zoom calls together. But this particular festival is really important. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it's a time when they commit themselves to prayer, to reflection, and to thinking about charitable works, because giving to others is a very important aspect of the Islamic faith. So their calendar follows the lunar calendar of 12 months, okay? And Ramadan begins with the first sighting of the moon in the 9th month. So that's Ramadan, and there are millions of people across the world at this time going through this period of Ramadan, which lasts for 21 days, well no, 29 or 30 days. It's a whole month almost of only eating when it's dark, so that they can focus on praying. Well, for Jewish people, this has also been a very important time of year because they celebrate the Passover. Now, the Passover for them is when they remember how God rescued them from a time when they were slaves. And God rescued them and got them out of that place where they were slaves and took them eventually into their own country. So they remember Passover. And again, a bit like the Ramadan, they follow their yearly calendar. And Passover starts on the 15th day of Nisan, which is the first month of the Jewish calendar, okay? And they celebrate it for 7 or 8 days. Now, in this year, they started celebrating on Saturday, March the 27th, which was 1 week before the Christian Easter. Okay? So Easter for Christians always occurs around the time of Passover. So what is Easter? Well, I think you probably know a lot about Easter because you did lots in school, because we've seen your beautiful work if you're in Chiddingstone School in the church here at St Mary's. And I'm sure wherever you are at school you've been doing something about Easter. And Easter is when we remember that Jesus died on the cross after celebrating the Passover meal on the Thursday with his friends. On the Friday he died on the cross, and on the Sunday he came to life again. And that is the Easter that we have just celebrated. Very interesting, isn't it? Now, for the next few weeks, we're going to be or next few months, because we only meet once a month now. So between now and the summer holidays, we're going to be thinking about that whole period of time in ancient history when the Passover took place, and we're going to look at it from how the Passover, the first Passover, took place into the time when the Hebrew people, the Israelites, had their own country for the first time. So we're going to go on a long journey. So today we start in Egypt. Now, the Hebrew people had been in Egypt for quite a long time by now. Babies had been born, grown up. And as they grew up, all the men had to build pyramids. They had to work incredibly hard. They were not well treated, as slaves often usually aren't, sadly. And so they'd been living in slavery for a long time. And the gods that the Egyptians worshipped weren't the same as the way that the Hebrew people worship God. And they were praying to God, saying, please get us out of here. Please help us. And God heard them crying. And he knew that they were in distress. And he knew he had a better plan for them, somewhere they could live in freedom. And so he asked a man called Moses, will you be my leader? Well, we're not going to go into the story at the moment about how it got to the stage where Moses eventually said, all right, God, I'll do it then, but you've got to give me people to help me. And God said, of course I'll give you people to help you, but this is what you've got to do. You've got to go to Pharaoh and say to Pharaoh, it's time to let my people go. So he went, and what do you think Pharaoh said? Oh, you must be joking. I've got all the slaves I need. We're not going to do this work for ourselves. Off you go. So God said, okay then, you don't listen to me, I'm going to do some devastating things to you. And all the water turned into blood, so that the fish died. People couldn't drink it. They couldn't do their washing. It was disgusting. But Pharaoh didn't let the people go. A bit later, God said to Moses, go back and ask him again. And tell him, if he doesn't do what you're asking him, something worse will happen. Off Moses went back again. Absolutely not. No, never. Not going to listen to you. Even the wise people around Pharaoh said, oh, I should listen. No, not going to listen to you. So the next plague was frogs. Everywhere there were frogs. Imagine waking up in the morning. Oh, there's a frog in my bed. Oh, there's a frog in my porridge. Oh, there's a frog in the fridge. Everywhere there were frogs. Awful. People hated it. So Moses went back to Pharaoh and said, come on now. Are you going to let my people go? Absolutely not. No way. What was the next plague? Gnats, mosquitoes. Zzz. Have you ever tried to sleep at night with a mosquito? They go zzz, and then it bites you and it itches. Well, they had gnats everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. It was terrible. So Moses went back to Pharaoh. Okay, Pharaoh, that was awful. Let my people go. Absolutely no way. The next plague was flies. Flies on everything. Flies go on dirty stuff, and then they go on food, and then you get sick. flies everywhere. Moses went back to Pharaoh. Okay, that was awful. Let my people go. No, certainly not. The animals got sick. Moses went back to Pharaoh. Let my people go. No way. Everybody got nasty boils. Now boils hurt and they really are unpleasant. Moses went back to Pharaoh. Let my people go. No way. Hailstones fell everywhere. Huge hailstones, not the sort we've had recently here. Great big hailstones, destroying all the crops. Moses went back to Pharaoh. Let my people go. No way. So locusts came and ate all the crops, ate everything. Locusts eat everything in their path. So Moses went back to Pharaoh. Surely now, God, he'll let us go. Will you let my people go? No way. Darkness fell on the land, but not on all of the land. Only where the Egyptians lived, where the Hebrew people were, there was light. You would have thought, Pharaoh would have thought, oh, I better do something about this. His people were really complaining. They had had enough of this. This had gone on and on and on. This was 9 plagues. And plagues, as we know for COVID, are terrible things, so destructive. So Moses went back for the 10th time and said, Pharaoh, God says, let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no, I will not let your people go. So Moses said, well, a terrible thing is going to happen. And a terrible thing was going to happen. But Moses had a message for all the Hebrew people. He said, go and find the youngest lamb you can find, and you need to roast this lamb with particular herbs and spices. You mustn't boil it, you must roast it. But before you roast it, get some of the blood from the lamb and post it like a cross on your door so that everybody can see you live there. Strange thing to be told to do, but they did it. Moses said to them, right, you're to eat it at midnight, and you must have your shoes on, your coat on, and your stick for walking with you. So they did. They found their tiny lambs. They put the blood above their door. They roast the lambs and waited to see what would happen next. And we're going to have to wait to see what happens next time we're on Discoverers Online. My word, what a time, what a time. I wonder, what can we learn from this? You know, I think the thing we can learn is to actually listen to God. So if we know there is something that we should not be doing, then we need to learn to listen to that and not do it. Because often worse things happen if we're disobedient. But we're going to learn more about what went on. Also, you know, Moses didn't want to be a leader. He didn't want to be the person in charge. But he was a good leader. None of us know what jobs we will be good at. But God can use any of us. Even if we think we're too timid, too shy, too noisy, too loud, whatever. God can use us too. Hold that in your mind and in your memory. It'll come in useful. Okay, so it's about time for prayer now. You've been sitting on for a long time, so you better stand up and get this. Arms up in the air, waving around. 5 fingers, okay? Remember, thumbs nearest to us, the people closest to us. So think about those people closest to you. The next one, what about praying for our teachers? They're going to be back at school tomorrow or this week with us. And we could do with praying for them, because they've been planning all sorts of lovely things, haven't they? Working really hard. What about the middle finger? Now, we need to remember particularly the Queen at this time, because her husband, Prince Philip, died this week, and we want to remember the Queen and all the royal family, very especially in our prayers this time. This finger here, who do you know who's not very well? It may be one of your grandparents, it may be an aunt or an uncle or a friend. Remember them. And this little finger here, yes, you've remembered, it's for ourselves. And hold on to all these prayers, and throughout the week you can remember them again. You just have to think of your hand and think, oh yeah, I can pray for my teacher. Oh yeah, I can pray for myself. Okay, so we keep that going. We don't just have to pray at a set time. We can do it any time you like. And then we bring them all together with a great amen, because we're all agreeing on it. Okay, right. So we're not going to do a craft activity today, because I think it's about time to do some planting. And I want to plant some sweet peas. Not sweet peas, I do want to plant sweet peas. They're not yet. Sunflowers. Now I usually plant my sunflowers directly into the soil where I want them to be. But this year I've decided I'd really like to think more carefully about where I want them. And as other plants come up, I'll get a better chance to see them. Plus I also want to plant some up for each of my grandchildren, so they can look forward to the summer and remember, as the plant gets bigger, the summer gets better, the more we can see each other. So what I've done is just filled up a plant pot there with some, well, this is actually special compost for seeds, but really any good compost that you've got, okay? And get my packets of seeds. This one says that it likes to be in full sun, sow it from March to early June, and it'll flower from July till September. Oh, and it's going to grow, I'm not too sure, about 350 centimetres. So let's hope it does. Right, so I've got my little seed, got my soil, I'm going to poke it well in there. Okay. And then, using my grandson's watering can, I'm going to give it a good water. Now I should probably put that in the greenhouse. It doesn't need to go in the greenhouse. It could go on the windowsill if I wanted instead, or could go out here. I'm going to put it in the greenhouse though, so that I can watch it and then either plant it out in the garden when it's ready, or put a label on it to give to my grandchildren. And what I haven't brought out with me, but I need to do, is to get a label to stand in it and to say what it is, a sunflower, and I'll probably put the date that I planted it too, so it gives us a good idea of how long it's been in there. So now's the time to get planting those seeds, especially those sunflowers, see how big they can grow. Now we're going to have a song, and we're going to do a song that we've done before, quite often before, but it's going to be a bit like a theme song for this journey that we're on. Ooh, did you hear that? A wonderful bee buzzing around me somewhere. So this is Amazing Grace, because it tells us a bit about the story of Passover, connected with Easter, which is what we're going to find out more about. Now I've also given you a video, and I've given you the words so you can learn the words, given you the video so you can see the amazing movements that they make, gymnastics type stuff that they do, the children are doing to it, so you can choreograph your own dance moves to this song. Maybe we'll have a chance to watch each other do them later.
Who breaks the power of sin and darkness, whose love is mighty and so much stronger, the King of glory, the King above all kings. Who back into order, who makes the orphan a son and daughter, the King of glory, the King above all kings. Who rules the nations with truth and justice, shines like the sun in all of its brilliance, the King of glory, the King above all kings. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, you would lay down your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy is the King who conquered the grave. This is amazing grace. This is unfailing love, that you would take my place, that you would bear my cross, lend your life, that I would be set free. Oh, Jesus, I sing for all that you've done for me.
Wow, brilliant. So that is a song which gradually we'll begin over the next few months to understand how that fits with the story of the Passover, how it fits with Easter, and actually we can see how it fits with the way we live our lives, whoever we are, wherever we are. So I hope that you're going to have a great week ahead, and going back to school works well for you. I will see you again on May the 2nd at Forest Church. Look out for any news for that. Find out where we're going to be, what we're going to be doing, and whether we have to book, of course, for that. And also I'll see you on Discoverers Online on Sunday, May the 16th. But until then, I'm sending you lots of love. Keep safe. Remember, hands, faith, space, fresh air, and see you later. Bye.